Welcome to In Solidum Lawyers. Today, we are going to explore the key differences between crimes known as misdemeanors and felonies. Join us. In the field of criminal law, the classification of crimes is fundamental for the proper understanding and management within the judicial system. Two of the most relevant categories, especially in Anglo-Saxon law, are misdemeanors and felonies. Misdemeanors represent less serious offenses and are punished with relatively light penalties, such as fines, community service, or prison sentences of less than a year. On the other hand, felonies are more serious crimes that carry harsher penalties, including long periods of imprisonment and, in some cases, the death penalty. In Ecuador, although we use different terminology, it is essential to understand these distinctions since the concepts of minor and major crimes have their equivalents in our criminal system and affect the way judicial processes are managed. Understanding these differences is not only crucial for legal professionals, but also for anyone interested in knowing the possible legal consequences of various behaviors. Today, at In Solidum Lawyers, we will break down these differences, providing common examples and explaining the penalties associated with each type of crime. This information is vital for properly interpreting the laws and protecting your rights. Let's get started. Misdemeanors are minor crimes characterized by their lesser severity compared to other crimes. In the context of Anglo-Saxon criminal law, these offenses are generally punished with less severe sanctions, such as fines, community service, or prison sentences not exceeding 1 year. Common examples of misdemeanors include minor vandalism, disorderly conduct, and first-time driving under the influence of alcohol. These crimes, though less severe, still carry legal consequences and can affect a person's criminal record. On the other hand, felonies are serious crimes that involve a higher level of severity and therefore carry harsher penalties. Sanctions for felonies can range from more than a year in prison to the death penalty, depending on the severity and nature of the crime. Examples of felonies include murder, rape, drug trafficking, and kidnapping. In Ecuador, although the specific classification of misdemeanors and felonies is not used, the underlying principles are applicable and translate to minor and major crimes, with penalties proportional to the severity of the act. Understanding these differences is crucial not only for legal professionals, but also for anyone who wants to be informed about the legal implications of various behaviors. The distinction between misdemeanors and felonies allows judicial systems to handle cases more efficiently and fairly, ensuring that penalties are proportional to the crime committed. The classification of the crimes significantly affects the judicial process and determines how cases will be handled within the legal system. Misdemeanors, being minor crimes, are usually dealt with in lower courts. These cases are generally resolved more quickly, as the penalties are less severe and judicial procedures are more simplified. Defendants in misdemeanor cases may face trials without a jury, and preliminary hearings are less frequent. Typical sanctions including fines, community service, or short-term prison sentences, allowing for a quicker resolution. In contrast, felonies are serious crimes and therefore involve a more complex and rigorous judicial process. Defendants in felony cases must go through preliminary hearings to determine if there is sufficient evidence to proceed to trial. These cases are usually handled in higher courts and in many cases involve the intervention of a jury. The trial of a felony is generally longer and more detailed, given that the consequences of a conviction are much more severe, including long prison sentences or in some cases the death penalty. Additionally, procedural safeguards are stricter in felony cases due to the gravity of the possible sentences. This includes additional rights for defendants, such as mandatory legal assistance and the opportunity to present a more comprehensive defense. In Ecuador, although we do not use the terminology of misdemeanors and felonies, the principle of proportionality in the judicial process remains, ensuring that serious crimes receive judicial attention commensurate with their severity. Understanding these differences allow legal professionals and citizens to navigate the judicial system in a more informed and effective manner. The long-term implications of a conviction vary considerably between misdemeanors and felonies. A misdemeanor conviction, although less severe, is not without consequences. Individuals convicted of these offenses may face difficulties obtaining certain jobs, especially those that require professional licenses or involve a high level of trust and responsibility. Additionally, a misdemeanor conviction can affect a person's ability to obtain loans, insurance, and in some cases may influence admission decisions to educational institutions. In contrast, a felony conviction carries much more serious and lasting consequences. People convicted of felonies may lose several fundamental civil rights, such as the right to vote, the right to bear arms, and in some cases the right to serve in a jury. These restrictions can vary depending on the jurisdiction, but generally represent a significant limitation of the individual's civil liberties. Additionally, the social stigma associated with a felony conviction is considerably greater. This stigma can result in extreme difficulties in finding employment, housing, and maintaining personal and professional relationships. In Ecuador, although the exact classification of misdemeanors and felonies is not used, the underlying principles of proportionality and severity of penalties apply similarly. Serious crimes equivalent to felonies carry harsher penalties and more significant long-term consequences, while minor crimes have a less severe but still important impact on the convict's life. Understanding these differences is crucial for anyone facing the judicial system, as the implications of a conviction can affect all aspects of their life in the long term. Therefore, adequate legal advice and knowledge of rights and responsibilities are essential. Understanding the differences between misdemeanors and felonies is essential for navigating the criminal justice system and protecting your rights. Each type of crime involves different processes and consequences, and knowing these differences can make a significant difference in a person's life. In Ecuador, although our classification of crimes differs in terminology, the principle of proportionality and severity of penalties still applies. Minor crimes may result in lighter sanctions and a faster judicial process, while serious crimes involve more complex procedures and harsher penalties, significantly impacting the convict's life in the long term. It is essential to be informed and have the appropriate advice to face any legal situation. At In Solidum Lawyers, we are here to help you understand your rights and navigate the judicial system with confidence. Our team of experts in criminal law is available to provide the necessary support and advice at every stage of the process. If you have any questions or need legal advice, do not hesitate to contact us. We are committed to providing the best possible legal assistance. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share with those who may need this information. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time.